Hey, what's up guys, Zeke here, back again with another video. For today we're talking about the top 5 World Championship Gunsmiths and perks. If you guys didn't watch the COD Mobile $1 million World Championships, first place went to Wolves Esports, the #1 Chinese team in COD Mobile, and of course you guys are probably updated with this one. The second place is GodL, the Indian team. The improvement has been phenomenal, from bot frag of last year to second frag of COD Mobile Worlds 2023. And you guys might be wondering what are their loadouts, and I got you. Starting with Wolves Nyan's Grau. Now, aside from Nyan, if you're wondering what the other Wolves members' Grau's attachments are, it's the exact same thing. Tactical Suppressor, FFS 20.6 Nexus, No Stock, 50 round mag, and Cronen Sniper Elite. Now, these pro players, they just share builds with each other. So, if one player is using a specific Fenic build, everyone's using the exact same thing on their team. Let's talk about the perks a bit. So these pro players are using Lightweight, Gung-Ho, and Survival Training. Now they occasionally switch Gung-Ho for Toughness and Dead Silence instead of Survival Training, but Survival Training is actually a really good perk that I didn't even realize was good. I decided to even try it out myself, and it really helped me in a lot of situations. Let's talk a little bit more about how the build feels. So of course, I had to try out every single one of these guns and all of their gunsmiths so that I can really understand why are all these pro players using these gunsmiths and how it helped them win the tournament. As for the Grau, there was barely any recoil and it was really easy to use, so it was mainly just reliant on your aim. If you have good aim, this is an absolute laser beam. And if you really want to properly use this build, I suggest pre-aiming a lot because of course these builds are not focused on ADS speed. Moving on to number 2, let's talk about godlike Trunks Fenic Build. Now Trunks is one of the new godlike players and let me tell you right now, this Fenic build is absolutely deadly. It's also the exact same build that the Chinese players use and other godlike players use. It's monolithic suppressor, MIP extended light barrel, RTC ready stock, operator foregrip, and the extended mag A. Now for this Fenic build, it's not the usual thing that most ranked players use, so some of you might have a hard time kind of getting used to this build at first, but once you get used to it, it's absolutely deadly. As for the perks, they use Lightweight, Gung-Ho, and Survival Training. I also see them occasionally switching the Gung-Ho for Toughness, but you can also switch Survival Training for Dead Silence according to your more passive playstyle. Now I've tried a lot of Fenic attachments in my time and this is one of my favorites. Now the reason why this is so good, it's because it's not your usual max ADS build that rank warriors use. This is actually more focused on the ADS bullet spread, letting you laser enemies from longer ranges as long as you can control the recoil. Now it does have a little bit of a kick to it, but let me tell you, once you get used to it, it's going to be really good. It only took me like a day or two to really master the build, so give it a shot. Moving on to number 3, we got Wolves King's Locust. Now, here's the thing with these pro players. I'm still really confused why they were using survival training instead of dead silence in S&D. But after talking to some of the pros, I've realized that what's the point of dead silence nowadays when there's about 5 cracked players staring down every angle that you could possibly peek in. And after observing these pro players, I also realized that if you're actually trying to win and not trying to be flashy, you don't really need amped. And after trying toughness for a bit, I actually realized that the switching time is actually still pretty fast even if you don't have amped. I just haven't used toughness in a long time. Now, don't worry guys, I know some of you might still be wondering what were his pistol attachments, cause he's gotten a few MW11 kills. But first, let's talk about the Locust build. It's the standard max ADS with OWC, stopping power, and no laser build. This is a very standard Locust build for rank warriors and pro players. Now let's get into the MW11. It was really different how he built his MW11. Normally people would just go with max ADS on this. And a lot of you have been asking me about my thoughts on the wounding perk. And if they're using it, it must be good. So the build he uses is a 45 compact barrel, wounding perk, MIP laser 5MW, lightweight trigger, and granulated grip tape. I also gave this a shot in rank and it's actually a lot better than I expected it to. But then again, his main weapon is of course the sniper. This is just to like get those finish off kills once you get a hit mark. As for the gameplay, it's pretty normal, pretty standard when it comes to sniping. The only difference with these pro player playstyles and our playstyles is that they barely switch to their secondary and just focus on their aim. If you're gonna ask me how the build feels, of course I've been using this build for the past years or so. But aside from the build, that survival training perk actually saved me right there. Anyways, let's move on to build number 4. It's Wolf's Eyes Switchblade X9. Now let's take a look at the Gunsmith. We got Monolithic Suppressor, MIP Extended Light Barrel, Operator Foregrip, Extended Mag A, and we have Granulated. Like the other builds, it's not focused on ADS but more on the accuracy, range, and control, since most pro players just pre-aim like crazy or hardscope like crazy with these. And as for the perks, it's the exact same with the Fenic. Now here's where it gets a little bit tricky. Let's talk about the gameplay and how it feels. Now, it took me a little while to actually get the hang of the Switchblade because it has a weird recoil pattern, so it takes a little while for you to get used to controlling the recoil. But one thing I noticed that really helped me to control it was strafing. If you strafe left and right while using the Switchblade, it actually helped me laser enemies a lot more, so make sure when you're giving this build a try that you try strafing as soon as you start shooting. Not saying that it's required, but it does help a bit. Or you can hop onto training mode and just kind of master the recoil pattern before hopping into ranked gameplay. But overall, it's pretty much exactly the same as the Fenic. I guess it's better than the Fenic in mid to long ranges a bit, but I would still prefer the Fenic. Moving on to the last build, we got the Kilo 1-for-1 build of Wolf's Eye. Now the attachments of the Kilo 1-for-1 is pretty much the same as Tectonic's build. It's Tactical Suppressor, MIP Extended Light Barrel, Long Shot, Ranger Foregrip, and Large Extended Mag B. This is one of those laser builds with really slow ADS but is absolutely deadly for those longer ranges. Of course, if you're gonna be an AR main, you try your best to avoid close range gunfights against those Fenic players. So as long as you use it right, it's absolutely amazing. Here I'm gonna show you a little bit of gameplay with it. I've been using this build for a long time now, so I've pretty much gotten the hang of it, and my advice if you're gonna use this is just try to pre-aim as much as possible in every corner. This will help you secure more kills and play a little bit more passive than your usual playstyle. The Kilo 1-for-1 is really good for close range and long range as long as you're using it correctly, but it really beams in the long ranges. It doesn't have much of a recoil kick to it. I would still prefer the Grau over the Kilo 1-for-1 overall, but the Kilo 1-for-1 is just such a good AR. It's proven itself in the previous World Championships and proves itself yet again. Anyways, thank you guys for staying till the end of the video, and I'll see you in the next one.